Hey fam, welcome to another episode of Good, Bad, and Ugly about real estate with Jose. Got a great guest for you today, William Yu. Woo!
How are you?
What's up, my bud? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just enjoying not the cold. I was up in New York last week. I'm from there. I'm pretty sure I told you in the past. Dude, it's cold, man. I live in Florida now. Years to know I escaped that city. Never looked back, man. So glad to be warm again.
Once you get acclimated, that's it. You're done.
Oh yeah, no, my blood had thinned out, dude. Like I can't. Like growing up in New York, I wore basketball shorts in the winter.
Yep.
Now I'm stacking on long johns when I'm
slippery pair of socks on. Yep.
Yeah, dude.
I've been there. I've been both ways now. Now I'm, because I started off in Florida, came to cold. So now when I go back to Florida, it's like, 50 degrees out, and I'm wearing shorts and flip flops and a tank top. And we're like, you know how cold it is out here? I'm like, no, this is great weather. What are you talking about?
For sure, man, dude. I mean, you're in Colorado, right now?
Yeah, I am.
What part again?
Denver area, basically, right outside Denver.
Real estate's expensive out there, man.
Excuse me. That's why I invest in multiple places where it's cheaper. So I do a little bit of everything. But enough about me. I'm grateful that we got a chance to meet. We met back in Scottsdale, the first owners club, and been bros ever since. But I got a chance to know you, and I'd love for my audience to get to know you. So can you kind of share your journey, how you decided to come into investing in real estate, and what made you make that decision?
For sure, brother. Dude, Jose, a shout out to you, man. You're the first person that I met in the owners club community, the real estate community, really. So a little background story about me. I'm actually a marketer by trade. I run a agency called REI Transfer. We primarily work with wholesalers and real estate acquisition companies nationwide. We generate off-market opportunities for people. But I am also an investor myself. I got into real estate investing right after COVID, or around COVID time down in Florida. And that's why I migrated down south, because I have properties down here already. And during the time of my initial investments into these properties, I didn't really understand much about, creative finance. I didn't understand what wholesaling was. I knew nothing. I just, got a DSCR loan and bought some properties down here. It was a great investment at the time, but I ran out of capital very fast because I was doing, heavy, for people that aren't familiar with DSCR loans, they're like the opposite. They're like creative, but like they're the opposite of creative finance with subject to, where it's like low down payment. You're talking about, 30, 35% down, and you're paying typically a point higher than your average interest rate. Right. So during that time, it was still fine because the rates weren't as crazy as it is now. And we were able to cash flow. I actually burned my first project, pulled out a lot of equity. But during the time when I was refining out, the rates were already shooting up. So I was working with a lender that didn't really know what he was doing. And when I refied out, I actually lost a whole point. So I actually made a point higher because he didn't lock in the interest rate. And during that time, I realized, I was like, real estate can be a very dangerous game if you don't know what you're doing. Anybody can make money when the rates are low and going down. But the best investors, they figure out how to protect their money when the rates are going up, right? So I paused for real estate investment for almost 2 to 3 years. And I got into a gym business. So I invested into a kickboxing gym called Kaizen Tampa down in the Tampa Bay area. I'm still a part owner of that company right now. And when I bought into that business, I actually invested in Alex Hormozy's Gym Launch, which is his licensing company, if you aren't familiar with, that basically help gym owners scale. The two things I learned from Gym Launch, paying Hormozy $35,000 plus, buying into the gym, was how to run direct response traffic, which is, Facebook, Instagram advertisement, Google advertisement. How do I get more leads into my business without me handing out flyers outside, right? So learn that trade and really discover, okay, how do I make my advertisement profitable, right? So I took what I learned from that realm and I brought it into the wholesale real estate space, the marketing space with, real estate investment. And yeah, I grew my agency from there. got more indoctrinated with the real estate investment group because I still want to invest. I want to invest smarter this time around because we're going to have a great opportunity in the next year or two.
Right.
Just to be able to see, you have to be able to seize the moment, right? But if you're unaware of what's happening, you're never going to be able to take advantage. So that's kind of my story.
So let me make sure I understand this right. You're a marketer by trade. You got invested into a gym business, and then you remembered, hey, wait a minute, I used to invest in real estate, and now I have this means of generating leads so that I can sell real estate. Did that kind of sum it up, or did I miss something there?
No, that's pretty much it, man. Like I think that in the real estate space, I think marketing is all. I think business at the highest level is all the same. It's a marketing and sales kind of thing.
Sure.
And Hermosi really dumbed it down for people like me, right? I didn't have the best grades in school. Like I was always just a talker, entrepreneur mindset. But um, he made it very simple because as long as you have your back end fulfillment done, like you know that okay, how to fulfill on the product, how to deliver a good product and service. At the end of the day, it's all just marketing and sales. How do you get more eyeballs? How do you get more people to be interested in what you're doing and want to work with you, right?
Right.
And during my time at the gym facility, we were selling, high ticket for gyms, but it's still gym memberships, right?
Sure.
And knowing why I knew during that time, I was like, hey, I need to be. Oh man, everything just turned off. Are you still there? Am I still here?
Yep. You're good.
Okay, everything. I don't know why it shut off on my computer for a second. It just went dark. So hopefully that didn't mess up anything. But I realized I need to make more money.
Sure.
Selling gym tickets were great. Gym membership were great, but I need to be in something a little bit higher ticket.
Sure.
And I discovered wholesale real estate. I always had a passion for investing in real estate at a very early age. I wanted financial freedom for my family. I'm a first generation immigrant. I came to the States when I was 7 years old. So I was raised by a single mother. So I knew that I had to become, like, I want to become wealthy, right? That's the goal. That's why I wanted to invest in real estate. And selling gym membership wasn't going to get me there as fast as I wanted to. So
Sure.
got back into the real estate side.
So I had you kind of throw it in there. You're right now, your focus is wholesaling. Is that correct?
So my primary target audience are wholesalers. The reason why I did that is to create an ecosystem of obviously, how do I get paid, right? My day in, day out job is marketing. So I get paid for the service that I provide. But because I am an investor and my primary network are all real estate investors, I actually offer my clients a lot more than just leads, right? I offer them a network, I offer them disposition opportunities, partnership opportunities, rather than just offering the traditional agency style, which is like, hey, can I get you more leads, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, leads, in my opinion, are just commodities. There's plenty of PPL companies, which is pay per lead. You can literally buy a lead online on a marketplace for a couple $100. You don't technically need a agency service, right? So for me, I want to be able to provide my client a little bit more than just a commoditized service. I want to offer them a relationship. I want to offer them a network.
Right. And you kind of grown in this space, right? Because now you have a community that you're sharing your knowledge that you've gained with other people. Is that correct?
Dude, yeah. So big shout out to Tim and Phil. I love how you shameless plugged us a little bit. So I recently started a Skool community with two of my buddies that we met during the Owners Club conference. His name is Tim Yu, one of the guys. He went from Louisville. Now he's mainly wholesaling in Houston, Army guy. And then Philip Ty, he's out in Richmond, Virginia. So these guys are solid guys and very, very, they know a lot more than I do when it comes to actual real estate investing.
Sure.
And for us, we just had a great synergy, not because we're all Asian. Maybe that's that too. And Tim and I, we have the same name. A lot of people think we're brothers, actually.
Yeah.
But no, it's super solid guys and super knowledgeable. And we created this community where we can really help focus people a little bit more when they get into the side of, off-market real estate acquisition. from the
Sure.
lead generation side, how do you get an opportunity? How do you get a distressed seller to raise their hand to want to sell their home to you for, they lower price, right? And then we arbitrage the pain and the convenience of a cash offer, and we're able to get paid very handsomely for that. Tim, his whole business is, sales. So he's able to teach people what's the best tactics for sales. How do you do common like rebuttals, objection handling, and the wholesale, the system and process for that. And Phil, he actively flips. He does like 7 figures a year in his flip business.
Right.
And when I look at a property, I just recently learned, the types of roofs, the shingles with the this and that, but like he knows the ins and outs from the type of electricals to the year and the build, which is freaking phenomenal. So we cover the whole spectrum of real estate investment. If you want to get into the space, but have a very focused way of transacting, we're teaching you from the beginning of how do you generate a leads on the marketing side to the sales, how to acquire, and how do you exit, right?
Yeah, I mean, even as experienced as I am, I show up on Saturdays at 11 o'clock my time and see if there's some nuggets that I can pick up, which I always do. There's always something new you can learn, no matter how long you've been in the business. So, and I've had Phil on, and not only is he doing fixer flips, but he's also acquiring businesses too, merger and acquisition. So, you guys bring a lot to the table, and sharing that knowledge is awesome. So, in your semi-short journey in real estate, have you come across anything that's like, oh, this is a great story to share, and then maybe a horror story that is like, hey, beware, this stuff is out there, and you may not want to, not that you don't want to do real estate, but you want to understand that this stuff actually exists in investing in real estate.
For sure. So in my short time of real estate, because I come from 2 realms, right? I come from the world of marketing, and I am very, very close with the world of real estate. I know what happens on both ends when it comes to, marketing for real estate coaches, marketing for this and that, and the angles that we use, how we mind F people in the end of the day to buy products and services. There's so many ways to get rich. And this is the main thing I want to bring value to your, in the beginning of the show, like right prior, we talking about what's the one golden nugget I can give to your audience to really genuinely help them. And if there's anything that I can give people is there's just so many shiny objects in this space. There is 100,000,000 ways to get rich in real estate. There's creative finance, there's reverse flipping, there is practice innovations, Google PPC ads, Facebook Meta ads, YouTube ads, there is co-living, there's lease options, there is this, that, everything, right? But in the end of the day, understand that everything works, but nothing will work if you don't focus on one thing at a time.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, the coaches and the marketers that I work with, and myself included, we create content and we create marketing materials to hit your innate nature of that shiny object, that cool new thing.
Yep.
We know why you guys we know that everyone wants the easier way out, especially when you don't know, because it's like I don't know if you ever seen this curve, Jose. It's like when you're starting a business, you have this uninformed optimism, and you're like, yeah, let's get it. Let's make $1 million of wholesaling this year.
Right.
And then you hit the bottom of the bottom, which is like the uninformed pessimism, where like, you're like, oh, fuck, this is really hard, dude. Like, this is really hard. This is not as easy as the gurus told me it was. I didn't know driving for dollars is going to cost me. I thought it was free.
Sure.
I don't have gas money. Like, I didn't know I have to put money aside for gas.
Right.
It's not free. They lied to me. Or door knocking. Oh my God, I'm getting yelled at all the time. Right. Facebook advertisement. Oh my God, it's so expensive. Like, I didn't know I have to spend 3 months of marketing budget for me to make money, and potentially it doesn't close because the seller backed at last minute. Right. There's so many things that we don't tell people. Right. But the people that really win is when they get out that little curve, that hump of like, fuck, like it's not going to work. And most people quit at that bottom, right? Because they have another cool new thing. Somebody else is promoting this cool new thing That's like, hey, it's easier than what you just try to do. So why don't you try this instead? And you start at the uninformed optimism again. We're like, hey, let's get it. Let's try it for another month or two. Let's spend some money. And then you hit that slump again and you quit again. And then you go back to this loop of just trying new things and failing and trying new things and failing, and you never succeed. And the biggest problem with that is that it really destroys morale.
Sure.
And you lose a lot of time and money. Right. The most successful people I know are the ones that are just super diligent in one thing. They master one trade. They get really good at one type of marketing channel. It could be door knocking. It could be driving for dollars. It could be, cold calling, SMS, legalities to that, but you get the point. And once you push through and once the cash conversion cycle hits, so like the time for when your dollar goes out into the marketing world, to how much will you make back and how long it takes to get that money back. Once you reap the first few conversion cycles, you're like, okay, now I know it's like what it takes to succeed in this game. And now it's like more of a just, I'm going to invest more into it, right? So you hit that curve of informed optimism and you're like, yeah, let's do it. And then most of the guys that I know that hit that point, they're the ones that are the most successful. They just keep scaling their business. And those are the guys that you end up looking up to, right?
Exactly. So you mentioned about conversion cycles to set people's expectations. What have you found to be I'd say an average conversion cycle for people that are maybe just getting into it, or even intermittent gurus, that have been in it maybe a couple of years?
So like I was saying, like, let's just clarify what the cash conversion cycle is, right? The cash conversion cycle is basically, let's just say if I spent $1 today in my business, how long will that dollar come back into my bank account so I can pay off my credit card bill?
Right.
Right. So typically in wholesale real estate and marketing, the shorter the conversion cycle, typically the higher the marketing spend. So the more expensive the lead, the more you pay for a marketing channel, the more qualified they are and the faster they convert. So that's why in a lot of businesses, they market on channels such as, Google, where people are searching for the service. So they're calling you right away. Hey, Jose, I need to get my hair done. Can I come in? Right. Like versus, Instagram, which is like, hey, are you Valentine's Day is coming up, right? Are you gonna do your hair? Here's a coupon to come in prior. So it's like awareness, right? Now they're gonna wait a little bit longer. So in the real estate side, it's the same thing. The typical cold channel conversion cycle can go up from 30 days minimum to all the way to 90 days plus, because there's a lot of longer follow-up process depending on the type of data that you buy. So typical stack list that you get from PropStream or batch leads, they're going to take over 90 days for you to convert your first deal, even after you get it as a lead or under contract, just simply because of the fact that they're just not very aware of selling. You're probably the 20th person that texted them today saying the same thing. And it's just a sales and numbers game.
Right.
Then you can get more into the maybe direct mail, right? Direct mail is a little bit shorter. Maybe it takes 6 months because you're paying a little bit more and is a little bit more hyper-focused. Maybe not as many people are talking to them, so they have less distractions and they have more pain point. Then you get into the inbound side of things, like, Facebook advertisement, which is more awareness. Typically takes 30 to 60 days to convert. Most of my clients, I tell them, give it at least 60 to 75 days, because we practice a lot of innovations with the Facebook targeting side of things.
Gotcha.
On the guys that we work with. And Google PPC is typically a 30 to 60 day turnaround too, because people are searching for the service. People are looking to sell their home, for cash. They're not looking to list it, probably because of the fact that it's like a older property that needs a lot more work. And probably wouldn't be, a FHA buyer or a traditional home buyer probably wouldn't be approved by the bank to purchase the property. So they're forced to sell for cash.
Gotcha. So with your business, do you, some gurus or mentors would say you should start in your backyard, but your business is a little bit more broad. Do you focus where you live, or do you focus your investing nationwide, or is your target audience nationwide?
So for my own investment purposes, because I have the beautiful network that we have built together, I have the ability to invest nationwide, which is amazing, right?
Right.
Obviously, not everybody can, but the only difference between marketing in your local backyard and nationwide is just having a system and a process built out, right?
Sure.
If you have a solid system and process and the right people to help you, you can do exactly what you're doing in your local backyard nationwide. How I always say is like when when your business is built to a certain extent, you're not going to stop by every job site. You're not going to have to micromanage people. So in the end of the day, what's the difference? You're not going to stop by that place anyways. You're going to be managing somebody. You typically have a manager in place, right? So nationwide wholesaling is, the guys that I work with, obviously it's at a little bit higher level where you have the infrastructure built.
Sure.
It's hard to compete local at scale because the people that are competing at local are extremely high level people and they're spending a lot of money. Right. We are in a very expensive industry and people are willing to pay to play in our industry.
Sure.
So it gets very tough to compete. So I do recommend people just doing cold channels in their local backyard, gain the confidence and just spread their wings, do nationwide. And then if you want to dominate your local market, the only way to really do that is you have to flip. You have to you have to increase your margin somehow.
Right.
That's a whole nother thing.
So I got a little bit of a personal question to ask you, because what I'd like to do is see if I can highlight to people, a lot of people don't want to get into real estate because like, I don't come from a rich family, or, I don't have a rich uncle. You mentioned that you immigrated here, first generation. You were here at the age of 7 and with a single mom. So my question to you is, coming over here, one, did you know English before coming over? 2, I know coming from a single mom that she didn't have a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. So coming over here to a new country, I mean, I'm sure you guys came from humble beginnings. Can you kind of just highlight a little bit, if you're willing to, share like how you, I don't want to say started, but you began your journey into real estate from where, I guess?
For sure. So I came to the country when I was 7. I knew a lick of English. Like, honestly, I probably still have a little bit of accent. If you like really listen, a little Chinglish comes out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also I have like a New York twang because I grew up in New York City. So I definitely like the New York twang definitely like masked the Chinglish a little bit more, which is hilarious.
Gotcha.
But I would say being raised by a single mom and seeing how hard she worked, it was like a unwavering, like I knew that I had to succeed. It wasn't like hey, do I have the option to?
Right.
And because of the fact that we were immigrants, it puts me in a sense of, because I didn't have the security, it made me work harder. And that's why I love this country so much.
Right.
And I think that a lot of immigrants, when they come to the States, the American dream is having the ability to become wherever the fuck you want to become. Excuse my language. I hope.
No, you're good.
Yeah, but that's kind of the thing. It's we can do whatever we want to do as long as we work hard, right? No matter what kind of hand that you're dealt, no matter what your background is, as long as you do business with good ethics and you do people right and you hustle hard and you're willing to do the things that other people won't do, you can't fail in the United States. As everybody, I get it. A lot of people say it's like, hey, like, it's unfair, blah, blah, blah. Dude, like, you should see other countries. Like, America's pretty fair. Like, and there's so much issues that's going on right now with the current presidency. And I see a huge division in the country.
Yep.
But as like an Asian American, like, growing up in New York, it's quite liberal. Like, all my friends are very, very liberal.
Right.
And not getting too much into politics, it's just there's so much people being on, like, they just don't know what the hell is going on in this world, and they're just so brainwashed by propaganda to a certain extent.
Sure.
Where they're so like they're so focused on this like disillusion of like media of what's going on. Dude, just focus on yourself, man. It doesn't fucking matter, man. Just focus on yourself, do more of what you're supposed to do, stay in your lane, hustle, work hard, provide value for people, and you will get paid handsomely for it.
There you go.
That's it.
Focus on what you can control. There you go.
Dude, that's it, man. I had a whole ass argument the other day. It wasn't like an argument, it was more of a debate, but I was just like, dude, like this doesn't really affect you much.
Right.
Focus, like why, like you're here complaining about your lifestyle and how you can't have more, but you're focusing so much on things that you have no control over.
Right.
So
it's funny you bring that up, and I'm going to try not to stay out of politics too, but there's a certain agency that's been under fire in the news lately, and I'm like, how many people even knew that thing existed before the current administration decided to do something about it? You know what I mean? Nobody could have even knew that they were there until it hit the news wave. So that's what I think is funny, is all these people were, arms up in the air, and they didn't know that they couldn't even spell it, a week ago.
Dude, so, everybody's just brainwashed, Jose. And at the end of the day, like I am very indoctrinated into the marketing space, and they're just algorithms dictate your future, your past, your current, present.
Sure, absolutely.
And it's kind of like the idea of like, it's either you are aware of it and you can utilize it for your greater good and your benefit and what your ethics are, or you can let it control you and just pretend it doesn't exist.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. Well, cool. I'm still trying to figure out a way for you and me to do some business together. Keep telling me that I don't need your services in marketing, but I think marketing is always a major part in anybody's business, especially if you're trying to grow it. So one of these days I'll convince you to allow me to take advantage of your services. But until then, if somebody else wanted to take advantage of your services, or somebody else wanted to partner with you on some of the things you have going on, or just follow you in social media just to see how things are progressing in your journey, how would they do that?
Dude, the best way to follow me right now is either my Instagram, will.yus, WILL.yus, or just add me on Facebook, William Yu. I'm pretty sure I'm not capped at the amount of friends that I can have, and I didn't know there was a cap until somebody told me recently. So I recommend everybody just hit me up there. I'm a geek about marketing and how I can help people's businesses grow. It doesn't have to be in the real estate space. Sure. I do work with guys in like the hard money space as well. I work with guys that are contractors, obviously wholesale acquisition, real estate acquisition. I started in the gym space. My lady, she owns a lash business, so I market for beauty stuff too.
Is she with you now?
No, she's at work right now. So,
but you brought her to Tampa?
Yeah, she's in Tampa now. She moved to Tampa over the past year, which has been amazing, and it's really nice. Florida is nice.
Yeah.
That, you can get away. And I recommend people, I guess, going back to your original, like the other question is like, how can people be more, right? Get out of your comfort zone. I had a whole conversation with a buddy of mine recently where he recently got out of a huge rut. And I told him, I think it's time for you to just flap your wings and move somewhere for a little bit.
There you go.
Because it's done really well for me. And you moved to, Colorado too, right? So it's like, we're all like always migrating to new places, meeting new people. And if I weren't in Florida, I feel like I wouldn't be out where I am right now, of the level of clarity that I have in my business and career.
That's awesome, dude. And I just want to do one shameless plug for you. Can you tell them what your Skool community is? So if they want to find you in Skool, they know what that is?
Yeah. So it's called New Breed Investors. It should be like black letters with like a beige background.
Sure.
And then we'll just link it down below for people.
Yeah, don't worry about it, guys. I'll put in the description all the links to all of his social media so that you guys don't have to worry about it or rewind this. As much as I would love for you to keep watching this this podcast over and over again, I want to make it easy for y'all so that you can learn. The whole point is to bring people that just like you, who've gone through different journeys in life, and just show you that anybody starting from no matter what can do this, and to give you the tools that I didn't have as I came through learning. I mean, it took me probably 10 years to learn what I know now. So trying to shorten that curve for you if I possibly can. So, well, Will, I appreciate you coming out, my man. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Squat Summit, right? It's been a while because it's been since Boston. That was September. So looking forward to seeing you and, hanging out. And to you, fam, we'll see you at the next episode.
Appreciate it.